Imagine a quiet town, the kind of place where everyone knows their neighbors, the kind of place where nothing bad ever happens. In the town of Amstetten, Austria, there lived an old man named Josef Fritzl. He was 73 years old. To his neighbors, he was just a normal grandfather. He liked gardening. He went on vacations to Thailand. He would smile and say hello in the morning. But Josef had a secret that he kept for 24 years. While Josef was drinking coffee in his kitchen, his own daughter was just a few meters below him, locked in a cold, soundproof dungeon. She wasn't alone. She was raising children that were also her siblings. This is not a horror movie. This is the true terrifying story of a man who built a prison under his family home. This is the story of the monster of Amstetten. Let's go back to 1984. Elisabeth Fritzl was 18 years old. She was a bright girl with a big smile. She dreamed of becoming a waitress. She wanted to travel. She wanted to be free. But her father, Josef, was a strict man. He was controlling. He didn't like that Elisabeth was becoming independent. On August 28, 1984, Elisabeth suddenly vanished. Her mother, Rosemarie, was worried sick. She went to the police. Everyone looked for Elisabeth. A few weeks later, a letter arrived. It was in Elisabeth's handwriting. The letter said, "Please stop looking for me. I have joined a religious group. I am happy. Do not look for me." The police believed the letter. Her mother believed the letter. They thought Elisabeth ran away to start a new life. But it was all a lie. Elisabeth hadn't run away. She hadn't even left the house. On that day in August, her father asked her to help him carry a door into the basement. As soon as she walked in, he slammed the heavy steel door shut. The nightmare had begun. Let's talk about where she was. This wasn't just a basement, it was a fortress. Josef Fritzl was an engineer. He spent years building this place in secret. The entrance was hidden behind a shelf in his workshop. To open it, you needed a remote control and a secret code. The door was made of steel and concrete. It weighed 300 kilograms. For the first few months, Elisabeth was tied up. She was alone in the dark. No sun, no fresh air. Only the sound of a fan humming. Imagine the silence. Imagine knowing your mother is just upstairs, walking on the floor above your head, but she can't hear you scream. Over the next 24 years, the horror got worse. Josef would come down almost every day. He didn't come to bring food or love. He came to abuse her. Elisabeth wasn't just a prisoner. She became a mother in the dark. She gave birth to 7 children inside that dungeon, all alone. No doctors, no medicine, just an old pair of scissors to cut the umbilical cord. This is where the story becomes even more unbelievable. Elisabeth had 7 children. Tragically, one baby died shortly after birth. Josef, he burned the baby's body in the furnace. But what about the other 6? The dungeon was too small for everyone. So Josef came up with a crazy plan. He decided to bring 3 of the children upstairs to live with him and his wife, Rosemarie. He would take a baby from the basement, put it on the front doorstep of the house, and fake a letter from Elisabeth. The notes would say, "I cannot take care of this baby. Please look after him." So 3 children lived upstairs. They went to school. They played in the garden. They saw the sun. They called Josef Grandpa. But downstairs, 3 other children, Kerstin, Stefan, and Felix, remained in the dungeon. They never saw the sun. They never saw a tree. Their entire world was 50 square meters of concrete. Their only connection to the outside world was a small TV. They learned to speak by watching television. For them, the upstairs was heaven. And Josef was the god who brought them food. How does a secret like this last for 24 years? Fear. Josef told them that the door was rigged with gas. He said if they tried to escape, they would all die. But in April 2008, something happened that Josef didn't plan for. Kerstin, the oldest daughter in the basement, got very sick. She was 19 years old and her kidneys were failing. Elisabeth begged her father, "Please take her to a hospital or she will die." Josef realized he had no choice. If the girl died in the basement, it would be a mess to clean up. So he agreed. He brought Kerstin out. He called an ambulance, but at the hospital, doctors were confused. This girl had no medical records. She had no dental records. She looked pale and strange. And in her pocket, she had a crumbled note written by her mother, Elisabeth, begging for help. The doctors called the police. They put out a search for the missing mother. Josef knew the walls were closing in. On April 26, 2008, he decided to bring Elisabeth out of the dungeon for the first time in 24 years. She looked much older than 42. Her hair was white, her skin was pale like a ghost. When the police saw her, they separated her from Josef. They told her, "You are safe now. He cannot hurt you anymore." And finally, she told them everything. The world was in shock. How could this happen? How did the wife, Rosemarie, not know? The police investigated Rosemarie, but they found she was innocent. She truly believed her daughter had run away to a cult. Josef was a master manipulator. He lived a double life perfectly. In March 2009, Josef Fritzl faced trial. He tried to hide his face from the cameras, but he couldn't hide from the truth. Elisabeth didn't come to court, but her testimony was played on video. It was so heartbreaking that reports say even the jury was crying. Josef pleaded guilty. He was sentenced to life in a psychiatric prison. But what about Elisabeth and the children? After the trial, they were given new identities. They moved to a secret village in Austria, a place where nobody knows their names. The house in Amstetten was filled with concrete, so no one could ever enter that dungeon again. It has been many years since they were freed. The children who lived in the dark had to learn everything: how to walk on grass, how to handle sunlight, how to talk to people. It wasn't easy, but reports say they are doing well. They are together. They are free. The story of Josef Fritzl is a reminder that monsters don't look like monsters. Sometimes they look like a normal neighbor. Sometimes they look like a father. But it is also a story of survival. Elisabeth Fritzl survived 8,500 days in hell, and she did it for one reason: to protect her children. She is the true hero of this story. What do you think about this case? Do you think the authorities should have noticed sooner? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this story interesting, please like and subscribe for more true crime stories. Stay safe and see you in the next one.